repo, but they don't play that, I think.
Is Drow cheese? They did play it in the last series.
In a way, yeah, you could say that. But I think OG aren't really that scared of Drow. I have this feeling that they will just pick other heroes that the other teams didn't run. I think if Wind and Rain go Drow, they'll pick Lycan, for example, and just run at them. I'm not sure if that was
now we're
banned
talking
in the
about
last game, but
what does OG ban to mess up Wind and Rain? What's the other way around? Do you ban out the Invoker and Ember? Do you stop OG from getting that first phase?
they have to get rid of Chen, I would say. And after that, you can like debate. I feel like Io and Chen are just on their own tier right now. So the second pick team has two strategies. One is to try to leave both in and feel like they can counter one with the other in both combinations, or you just ban both and say, you know what, first pick you don't get either. It's actually pretty rare that we see this nowadays. I find that interesting. In the past, it was more common that if there was like a designated 2 or 3 heroes that were considered imbalanced or overpowered, sometimes the second pick team would actually just leave everything in and just get their grab. But nobody has really been trying that this tournament, and it doesn't seem like it's happening here either. Wind and Rain banning both, and you would imagine they might ban Beastmaster here against Mad.
Wouldn't that just be like an outpick strategy, like saying like we know how to draft better than you, so you're gonna make a misstep, having all the good heroes in the pool, and we're gonna know what's really gonna be the best strategy Dota team organized balance thing.
I feel like when you look at the picks that are strong right now in Io and Chen, you can almost always do a 1-2 with both, right? Like it doesn't feel like you can't pick Io into Chen under any circumstances, and it doesn't feel like you can't pick Chen into Io under any circumstances. So I think you can definitely juggle the two. So Mag will go through for OG. This is also Wind and Rain's prioritized pick in most cases. Notable in the last game, they actually banned it when they were first pick, which was very special. But this time OG will grab it for 7.
It's nice because I don't think that OG has played any Wyvern, and that's the other Wind and Rain opening here that they've liked to show throughout the qualifiers. I think it's a lot more flexible than what a Wyvern actually offers, in my opinion.
And it does so much for like any melee pick. It makes predicting what carry they're going to pick so much harder. So many more become viable instantly.
At your service.
So one of the very obvious ones that we've been seeing a lot from OG is Ember Spirit. If they've leaving it in the pool, do you think that it's worth taking in the first phase if you're OG?
I will almost guarantee you that they'll grab it without using any reserve time.
Wow, the double core first phase. That would be interesting.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they'll do it.
It's just so nice for them because they have 2 people that can play it, and they're both very comfortable on the hero. You have Anna, who's like arguably one of the best Embers, and then Thompson, who is still a very good Ember.
5 seconds remaining.
And you can't really glean anything from it, so... I mean, the best thing you can hope to do is have a situation like they did before, where there was like I think it was Ember Sky that they opened into a Nyx against Kinguin. And that was like the best case scenario because it was a counter pick that was good against both openers. And if you pick Mag and Ember, like those, there's not really a hero that you say, wow, this hero owns both of them.
They're also picking into bans.
Yeah.
That game they were second pick, so the enemy team had a counter pick in the first phase. This time that doesn't even exist. So I think OG will just grab it. Like, play it till you lose with it. The only loss they had with Ember was against a Huskar cheese, and they already covered their bases on that one. So I think they'll just snap it here. I don't think they care.
This also leaves in the PL, which we've seen sometimes as a matchup against this.
True, they could grab Lancer as well for Ana.
I think PL is almost better than Ember right now.
They're both very good here, I think.
Both very lane flexible. I think the one big difference is that PL, in my opinion, has been shown to be more consistent than Ember. But that is barring OG's Ember. OG's Ember looks the best. But just in like the entirety of the qualifiers, PL has looked consistent.
And the only times Ember looks bad, in my opinion, is when they have those abusive 1v1 matchups like Huskars and the Mirana plus Drow Aura kind of stuff. Like every other time, Ember seems to do more than fine.
They're actually using bonus time. I'm surprised.
But I have a hunch that if they pick one, they're not getting the other. So if they pick PL, they will not get Ember. If they pick Ember, they will not get PL.
I'm pretty sure that's what they're debating right now.
Okay, it is Ember.
I personally like OG having Ember better than PL just because it has a more dynamic playstyle, whereas PL is definitely safer, I think. But Ember can put pressure in the mid game, whereas PL is a little bit more limited.
But
so
I think
like the Ember pick.
You're not like thinking about Thompson's hero pool because he can just easily go Quasflex Invoker, put Ana on Ember, and you have the same thing. Or sorry, put Ana on PL, and you have the same situation where you have one hero who's going to control the mid game and another hero who's going to be getting farm. PL is still a great matchup against Spectre. So I think it's like no matter what, OG are going to get something that they want. Like you can't possibly account for all the circumstances.
Let's try to think about what they do if they put Ana on Ember, because OG have ran lineups where they didn't even have any true physical damage. They've ran lineups with Ember, Zeus, Beastmaster, and then you could say Beastmaster's like pseudo-physical, but they played the Ember full magic build. They might try for something like that and grab a quick win against a Spectre lineup. If not, you generally want a physical damage hero that uses Empower. And the most obvious choice for OG's hero pool will probably be Topson's Monkey King, and then put on the Ember. And the reason I like Monkey King this game is that there's a Spectre lane, and Monkey King can just go in that one. They can actually put Seb mid on Magnus, and Magnus loses a few matchups by a bit, but generally doesn't get run over like Monkey King can by some matchups. And he can farm with Shockwave, it got buffed.
Yeah. And
I do like Monkey, but I think they can hold off on it. Like if they wanted, they could go back for something like Sky. It might make it through.
I don't think they're grabbing it until last pick.
Oh,
I think
okay, yeah,
they'll
you
get
just-
two
okay,
supports.
yeah.
I'm just trying to think ahead, like with their hero pools and how they usually pick.
Turn
That
to
could be
ban.
something. Quaswex Invoker is out of the window.
I'd like that ban.
Yeah, me
Invoker
too.
would be tough to deal with, because if you do any early Spectre ganks, drain his mana, God forbid he doesn't get his dagger off first, then he's dead almost every
Don't you
single
think
time.
that like Pugna is almost scarier than Quaslex Invoker this game?
I
If
mean,
you're
they
winning
might
raid?
ban it here too.
I mean, it is possible they just target Topson and just take all of his heroes out, but Pugna and Monkey are my two for Topson right now.
10 seconds.
Well, and if you
remaining.
ban out the Pugna here, you could also ban out the Monkey last phase, and if they
5
pick it here,
seconds remaining.
I mean, there's other matchups that you could take that would really wreck the Monkey King.
It depends, I think, what Wind and Rain take, if they're going to pick Topson's hero this phase or not.
It feels like an
Radiant's
advantage to
team
just not pick
battle.
Topson's hero early, because it is going to mean that Wind and Rain are like just scared of all of his heroes. And it's like all of your bans will be against mid heroes. Just leave his pick until last, and then you get super flexibility in all of your other roles.
I really like the Skywrath ban because Witch Doctor's out. Wind and Rain banned at first phase, and it's what Notel has been going for himself as the safe lane sustain support. I don't think we've seen OG play Warlock. They
10
may have run it
seconds
once, but I
remaining.
don't
remember
recall
seeing him doing it. Yeah.
So I don't think they rate that hero very high, and the
5
problem for them as well is you have Golem and RPs who'd be extremely
Radiant's
cooldown
team
reliant,
pick
and there's the other defensive support ban out from Wind and Rain in the Oracle. So
Maybe they'll pick Warlock themselves.
maybe they'll pick Axe.
That's a very interesting ban, actually.
There's no Purge for Battle Hunger now from the Oracle, and there's no heal from Witch Doctor.
I think you can wait on it though, maybe, and take because
You could grab
OG is
support.
probably going to take Beastmaster.
I don't think they will.
Oh right, duh, the
10
Magnus, right?
seconds
I mean,
remaining.
technically they can play Mag mid, it's just we haven't seen it. I don't think Topson really plays that hero much.
5
So
seconds remaining.
the Magnus for me is more or less a lock on Seb, and now they will grab two supports.
OG's turn to pick.
So they grab the Warlock. Interesting.
It's kind of a-
Warlock Spectre is pretty classic.
Yeah.
It's an interesting dance, the Sky ban and Oracle ban.
Yeah, it makes their own Warlock a lot better now as well. That's the one thing Oracle has been very useful for OG. That's been their counter pick for Warlock a couple of
Radiant's
times
team
here.
pick.
And it seems to be their plan B. So
Okay.
can't get the Purge for the Warlock heal. They get Bane as a strong laner.
He's been kind of thrown to the wayside over heroes like Sky, Warlock, Witch Doctor, but
Yeah.
still is very good at laning stage. Grip can be really good late game too. He's going to be having trouble with haunt stuff, is one big negative aspect. But
Yeah, when
10
Spectre has
seconds
items,
remaining.
you don't want to play the game anymore. 'Cause
Yeah,
it is horrible. If he has a
5
Manta, you
seconds
just die
remaining.
to Haunt. You actually you're just dead.
yeah, he needs like some item at that point to feel good.
I feel like OG need like one more skirmisher hero to like set things up for an RP. Like RP, you never want to have to rely on it. I feel like so Ember kind of does that with slight chains. I don't know if Bane is good enough at it.
OG's turn to pick.
I think it's something else, but I'm not really sure
Huh.
what that pool is.
Interesting.
I guess this covers them a bit if they want to lane Prophet versus Ember Spirit. Like Wind Ranger Prophet is just very good pressure right
That's
now.
a very strong lane. I think at this point, well, OG kind of have to make a choice here. If they want to keep staying flexible, or if they see a core that's great against NP and then they choose that lane.
10 seconds
Um,
remaining.
I kind of like the idea of putting Magnus in this lane the most. You put the Magnus
5
against the pressure
seconds
lane,
remaining.
and then you put Ember in whichever lane he wants out of the remaining two, and pick Topson his a blind matchup is what it will eventually be, right? Because they're first pick.
Yeah.
So
I like that idea, because otherwise you'd be forcing an Ember Spirit into a different lane, and then that would allow Wind and Rain to counterpick against Ember
Radiant
more
team
definitively.
back.
There's the Pugna.
okay.
It makes sense. I think when you're playing against Furion, yeah, you have some catch, but you don't really want the game to stretch out too long because that hero can become a very big nuisance. So you can give yourself really early high ground potential and just control the map. Their lanes are still really good, even in the light of seeing a Nature's Prophet possible Wind Ranger dual lane. That is a pretty gross lane.
I'm pretty sure this
10
Pugna will go mid
seconds
almost no
remaining.
matter what.
Yeah,
And,
yeah, yeah, for
they
sure.
they want him to get levels. Dual lane Pugna sounds pretty
seconds.
weak
No, no,
compared to what they usually do.
I just mean I like it in the sense that it plays fast against a team that will potentially have the capability of
Yeah.
split pushing.
I almost wonder if you need to change up and do like Bane Magnus instead of Ember Bane, because like the right clicks coming in from Wind Rangers and Nature's Prophet, all the trance spawning. You can't like buy a poor man's shield on this hero, so he's gonna take so much harassment. It might be one of the lanes that could actually like force Bane into a bad spot.
Yeah, Bane doesn't want to play against Nature's Prophet. It's I think so. I've played this hero a lot, and I'm trying to remember if I've ever hated a matchup more than FearEN, and I don't think so. It's actually the worst core to face as Bane, because the way your hero generally works is that you trade with a core in the lane, and you can just sustain yourself with Brain Sap. But FearEN's just too strong. Like it's too much. You can't.
And he has range advantage.
He has range advantage. You can't kill the treants. They hit too hard. It's just he bullies you, and if you get bullied as Bane, the hero feels super weak. We've seen it in a couple of other games in CIS qualifiers, especially, where someone ran Bane and it lost its lane, and you're just lost in the game.
Yep.
It
feels like the only way it would work is if Enfeeble was still good level 1, because then you could at least Enfeeble the Prophet and fight Treants maybe, but
I think you still lose the matchup then.
Yeah, probably.
Then you can't even Brain Sap to sustain yourself. That was a quick pick. Interesting. Okay, so
is that any better against Nature's Prophet?
JRX Wyvern. It's
just a tremendous amount of wave clear, honestly. Like all their heroes can push out the waves except for the Bane. And I think that's their answer to the Furion. It's like, okay, our Bane might have a rough lane, but during the mid game, we can TP 4 of our heroes to defend against him. It's not like, okay, we have to TP one specific core back, and then maybe WinRain can take a fight off their haunt because of that. It's no. Any hero except for Bane can TP and stop his split push now.
It's cool with Magnus as well. You could look at it as like a vacuum. Like Spectre's going to haunt, Winter Wyvern's going to use his ulti, maybe it catches some illusions. It'll set up Magnus for an RP afterwards. Some cool stuff.
The absolutely primary reason they pick this support is that they want someone who feels like he can deal with the treants in lane. That's got to be the primary argument here. They know Bane doesn't like this matchup. They get a position 4 that can go against the Nature's Prophet, probably together with Ember. And I'm imagining this Wyvern would just go Splinter Blast level 1 and buy Clarities and actually just spam Splinter Blast on treants. I think that's how they're going to approach the lane. Flame Guard and Splinter Blast. And then
I think it's really good against Wind as well. Just typically the way that Wind and Rain are going to start fights are one of two ways, right? They counter-initiate with Rock or they land a Shackle. And Winter Wyvern is amazing against the latter. You just put whoever gets shackled in ice, and they literally can't go. I don't know how Wind and Rain are going to start a fight. They're very, I would say, dependent on this Furion to have a good game.
Yeah, okay, so if Pugna wasn't in this game, I think they would have grabbed Lina here, just as a way of killing heroes that get caught in Cold Embrace, but they're worried about the Netherwart destroying them. So they get themselves a mid-hero that can play more of a pushing approach, enabling their Warlock to 5-man, and who can also cast its spells before the fight begins. It's kind of nice to just have Exorcism running before Pugna shows up. So Ryle will be playing the DP. I'm a bit concerned for his lane, though. We've seen Thompson destroy, and I am not seeing this as a DP favored matchup.
It's not. So. The auto attack range, the speed of Pugna, like you can actually dodge Crypt Storm majority of the time. It's really hard to keep your Soul Siphon on people as well.
Yeah.
So it's definitely Pugna favored. We'll see if they can actually do anything about it, though. I think the Nature's Prophet's going to have his hands full. Like I think that he's the one who would want to like TP behind and maybe go for a kill, because if he uses Decrep offensively, you might be able to kill him. But other than that, if he just plays safe, I don't see how they're going to deal with that hero.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to have to see as we get ready to hop into this game number 1 of the best 5. Winner is moving on. Real quickly, predictions. What do you guys think in game number 1?
OG?
Yeah, it's just OG. They're a really good team.
All right.
I'm on AUG.
An AUG. Wonderful. All right, well, now we're going to send it over to the broadcasters. Again, it is the lovely Toby1, who I did not forget this time, and syndereN.
Thank you. Thank you very much. OG versus War. What a great matchup. OG. Is everyone what it was? Everyone wanted what it really stood for, right? Actually, wasn't it revealed?
So, as far as I understand, they just took the name OG as, like, you know, originally from hip-hop culture, original gangsta, but then they just, because, like, the OGs of Dota, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And then, since then, there's been, like, theories about what it means, and they're just like, it can mean whatever you want it to mean. When you say something like that, does it mean anything? Like, that's the question. I think it was just a name they took at the time. They've just kept it. I don't think there's been an official statement of
There was nothing official. I remember when Fly and S4 left, though, there was some mention of it. Top lane's having a little bit of fun. Forev just saying hi to GRX and Anna. It's almost like they want to get some stuff. And hey, look, a Splinter Blast. He's only got 1 Clarity, though, Sin, but 2 Mangoes to work with. And they're doing so much damage into Anna.
Yep.
Now Thompson's actually going to rotate over with a Nether Blast. Forev's going to drop down low. They have enough damage to get the kill. Millen's trying to look for his own underneath the tower. Forev cannot make it into the safety of the tree line, and instead they look over towards Millen. Running down south, Splinter Blast coming off cooldown in just a second time. He's thinking about using the tree for it. The tree will go the other way. Millen up the hill. No missed chance, but Millen will still survive, having enough life. They're going to use the tree to deny the bounty rune. They're going to use the... Nope, no, they're good. They're fine. They got it. They're great. Moving on.
They're on the same
1-0.
team, Toby.
They are on the same team. Shut up.
That's playing to win, baby.
That's
Play with your teammates. Don't destroy their runes. It's a winning strategy.
That's questionable casting at best.
We're getting warmed up. It's all good. We've got at least 3 games, so we need to peak in game 3. It's all fine.
Hey, I've already had 3 games. I should be
True.
warmed up.
That is true.
It was the break. My muscles are starting to cramp in the break. There you go. That'll be my only fuck up. All right, back to the game. Jirex and Ana. So is this lane still going to work for them now? Like they've got a huge advantage now with the Wyvern getting having the first blood there. How does Forever and Millen actually balance out the lane?
The majority of the first blood gold did go to Pugna. He got the actual kill. So there was a bit of AoE gold for the Wyvern, but not too much. This lane is definitely still Radiant favored. It should be for a little bit. I think when Ember starts hitting level 3, it can get tricky. Because for now, they can just break Flame Guard with Power Shot, but they're not going to be able to do that the whole time when he gets higher levels on it. I do believe a level 2 Flame Guard will sustain the full Power Shot. At which point, they're going to struggle with it. But for now, look at all this damage that they're just dealing with these two.
Yeah, one of the rare times when Ana doesn't get a lot of farm, but normally he's got the catch-up of the other lanes doing well, so how's that actually working out? Looks like Ana. That mid lane, it's kind of fun, at least for Seb on the bottom lane with No-Tail. Nothing but Enfeebled and Empower buff up. OG's got some really good damage to work with.
Actually skilled Enfeeble, that's really interesting. This spell has been nerfed into oblivion, and No-Tail still thinks it's worth skilling it. I don't think I've seen this in this since the nerf, that anybody has skilled this. Oh, dagger.
They're taking so much damage with Fatal Bonds, they can just be... okay, it's only level 1 though.
Yeah.
But Seb is not a healthy man. He'll have to wait out the Fatal Bonds before he can heal.
He's playing without Skewer. That's very normal in this kind of lane, in a 2v2. Yeah, the bonds are being annoying. And he should be flasking up now, I would imagine, when this ends. I'm hearing chains. Oh, they got Ana top.
Yeah,
it's a trade-off, though.
Prophet's going to be the trade-off, and Wind Ranger, do you have enough? No Wind Run left, so it's going to be Jirax who gets the double kill as the Winter Wyvern. And the extra experience for it.
Yeah, he's almost level 3 now in Wyvern. That is big. He might suicide to these neutrals, I think. Yep. Buying a stick.
Millen's looking for it. The power shot. He actually looked for the right line.
That was a close call. Wait, OG actually have a sentry here, but they haven't found the ward that blocked their camp. It's the classic bottom right corner ward here. Maybe they'll find it now. When Jerax comes back, he's like, wait, why is my pull still blocked? I'm surprised they didn't check that corner.
Well, you still got to cut through a tree, right?
No, you can
in
just
the
walk in
meantime,
there.
back behind the tier 2 tower, Warlock is actually the man who claims that kill.
Yep.
I'm a little uncertain how that went down. Also noticed too, the Jirax, yeah, never mind.
He is going a 1-2 build on Wyvern, very standard. Sometimes you get the Cold Embrace value point, but in this case, definitely in favor of this build, and Milan is dead.
Yeah. With the triple mangoes, he's got a huge amount of regeneration just to harass, and then always going to have the mana for the Splinter Blast. So, it's fantastic for Jirax. This mid lane appears to be pretty even as well. Maybe a little bit in favor of Thompson.
Yeah, especially when he reaches level 6. I think Bryle, this is something you don't want to do as Death Prophet, but I think Bryle has to skill Silence before he's level 6. If he doesn't do that, Thompson's just going to Decrepify and drain him, and put a lot of pressure on him in the lane. There's just one counterplay available. So I hope for Bryle that he skill Silence here on level 5. Thompson should be getting level 6 first of the two.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
And Ana and Jirax really trying to get aggressive onto Forever, even back behind the tower. Good Dire Scan, scattered out Warlock's movement. But he actually only came up to pick up the DD rune, so Thompson's moving back behind his tier 1 tower, feeling that there may be a gank coming, but with the double damage, he can try bringing that to bottom lane, try and help out. Forceback, who has to pop his salve.
Want to point out how good of a job Forev is doing, by the way, in the top lane. He has 16 denies. They're slowing down Ana a lot. Forev is almost level 5, and Ana is level 3.5.
Oh wow,
So
he's actually got enough in mid with the kill, with the Crypt Swarm? Yeah, he does.
Oh, nice kill from Bryle.
They got pretty aggressive because they were trading Blast for Swarm. But eventually, those Spirit Siphon charges built up and he just went nuts.
That was a very unexpected kill for me. That's big. He's holding on to a skill point for now as well in DP. Wonder if he is debating the... Most of the time on DP here, you go a third point in Siphon or the ulti, but he does skill the silence. I'm very happy to see this from Brawl. I think it's a good choice. Protecting himself from the counterplay that Pugna will have in this lane.
This movement on top. Kind of feeling like Ana and Jirax are ready to fight once more once that Arctic Burns back up cooldown. But you got the normal phase we build on Forev. So range harassment is not going to be a fun thing for Ana to deal with. Maybe this is also the other reason why Death Prophet's already rotating. Coming in for the Shrine, there's a bounty rune to pick up as well. Actually, she needs to stay in mid, right? Like, these mids don't rotate off for a while.
Not now, at least. Especially not without Exorcism. There's not enough value in trying to gank top, because you can't take any structural damage, and that's what DP is all about. Mid lane, see that there. Just now, Thompson went for the Decrep, Drain, and got silenced.
Actually, fortify up the Dire Creep Wave. Let's try and change out the balance. It's definitely not for bottom lane.
Thompson looking for a rune, and he will not find it. It's bottom.
They've still got this bounty. I don't know if they're trying to save it for a rainy day.
I don't think anybody realizes it's there.
Someone forgot at least in the lane.
Someone is probably walking past it before minute 10. Oh, look, Milan! Hello.
Oh,
nice.
Money. It's the extra 1 gold that you gain from this, right? That's plus 52. For that one bounty rune.
That's 2 gold more, I think. Sick value. Oh, mid. Thompson is on him.
Yeah, going after him. And they've got help. Warlocks in the neighborhood. But Thompson with the invis rune. He's even got stick charges available.
Anyone miss me?
Effective use of line.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
So, I still want to have a look mainly at this top lane. We haven't talked too much about bottom. What's basically happening down there is that Seb is out farming Ritsu by using Empower. Pretty straightforward lane. But this top lane might have kill potential now. Jerax and Milan. There are the chains.
Got the steering chains off, but already win rate begins the TP out. The damage output will not be enough to find the kill. And Forev just hides over in the trees. It also seems to be really hard for Ritsu to get a last hit when Enfeeble's got a negative 60 damage to his 58.
2-2-0
Yeah. So Enfeeble's actually working out. The Empower buff up is giving Seb the advantage, and No-Tail's taking away from Spec.
Yeah, it scales. It scales to be the same as it used to be. So when you have especially level 3 Enfeeble, it's pretty much the good old. Level 2 is also okay-ish.
I swear, like, oh, on bottom lane.
Oh, yeah, that's a
They're
Nature's
bringing in the
Prophet.
extra help. Prophet was looking to TP mid, but he comes to the bottom lane instead. Warlock finds the kill into No-Tail, attacking into Seb. Just spilled the damage out with the Fetter Bonds.
I'm surprised Jerax even TP'd for this. Bit of a wasted rotation here out of OG, so they are getting pressured.
It's actually Hurt's top lane now, because Ana's left alone. Forev can move so quickly to the top lane. And this is just a ticket for Millen to get aggressive. They sprout up Ana, they'll break him free with the power shot of Millen, but that Flame Guard is burning through him, and they will have enough damage in Ana. But does he lose his life for this? Forev goes up, Ana goes down into the tree, sprouts back off cooldown, but he got the vision with the treants anyway. Even giving a Wrath of Nature to bounce around the other lanes and harass in both the bottom as well as the mid.
I want to say so far so good for Wind and Rain, though. Their laning stages, they're pretty much breaking even. They have a lineup with Spectre, so obviously that's pretty good already. The question is how they make use of their DP plus Warlock, because you want to use this Exorcism to take towers, and you want to get the Chaotic Offering available to join for those 5-man moves.
They go on top. Spirit Jump forward from Ana. Spirit Jump again, looking for Forev in the tree line. Sprouts begins his TP. Jirax has no way to cancel it, but Ana does. Searing Chains, and Forev will go down. At the same time as Millen actually TP to the bottom lane, trying to help out, but his rotation moves him towards the mid. As a level 2 power shot, Shackle just holds Thompson there just long enough for the Crypt Swarm and the power shot to connect.
Nice movement from Wind and Rain on that kill.
Radiant's top tower is
Pugna
under
even
attack.
had a ward on Milan coming in, but he didn't have anywhere to go except where he did. And like you said, the Shackle doesn't connect, but it didn't even need to. So they grab another one. Ana is starting to come back, though. He had a really rough start against this Nature's Prophet, and if he can recover, then a big part of Nature's Prophet's work has been in vain.
Dire's
So
middle
they got to be
tower is
careful
under attack.
that they don't give him a bit too much. He already got that 1 kill top on the Nature's Prophet. Or actually, might have
That's
killed it
like we
twice.
said before. Anna always in the way, having a way to come back. Thompson may have a little bit more trouble, however. Wants to get the blast as well as the life drain off, but won't be able to happen. The curse onto the spec. Wyvern dies all the way back at the tier 2 tower too, so OG thinking they had a lot to play with, and Spectral Haunt very early used, and the tier 1 tower will fall directly after it.
That's pretty much the best possible play there was on the map. That could not have gone any better for them. They kill the Pugna, somebody tries to help Pugna, they kill that guy as well, and they get the tower. And they used an Exorcism. They didn't even have to use Golem there because they don't have it. Of course, the Haunt expended too, but Spectre wants to get involved. So, very nice move from them, and they get themselves a little advantage here.
They actually moved the lanes too. So DP heads towards the top lane. Ferev's gone into the jungle, and they're going to give Millen some space in mid. Obviously, he's the one that can escape with the wind run.
Yep.
But how long until we see Magnus get involved? Like, how did Seb build this last time? Right now, he's looking at a pipe, but I'm wondering if Blink Dagger is a requirement.
He generally wants to go one tank item before Dagger, either Hood or Vanguard, and then Blink. Just to be such a...
This.
RP.
Does the RP, he's going to skewer him right into the middle of the rest of the OG rotation. They had so much damage ready to roll. And even the Fiend's Grip, Death Prophet rotated over the rock, creating space from Warlock, and the extra damage in from behind. They hit him with a Crypt Swarm, at least one successful TP out. But this is a full run now for Seb, as well as Thompson.
So that's a Bane for a Spectre, and both RP and Golem used. I think OG are pretty content with this. Could have obviously gone better, but it's fine. In the meantime, Ana's just cutting between the towers top. Nobody is really able to deal with him. We didn't cover this that much, but the Radiant lineup's catch against Ember, considering he was a first phase pick, is really lackluster. They have a Silence from DP, and they have a Shackle Shot, and that's it.
Thompson attempting to go for the full kill on DP again, and the 1 point in Silence cancels it. But that's a Veil of Discord on the Pugna. That's why he dropped the Death Prophet down by 50% with just one blast.
Yeah, the amount of damage on this hero when you get all the spells off is pretty ridiculous. Nature's Prophet ulti. Looking to push this top tower, but OG are interested in defending. Milan's in trouble.
Notel's rotating around the back, looking towards Millen. He can Nightmare him to stop the run out. But
He doesn't
now
have
trapped
Nightmare.
inside the trees. Anna's going to break him free with his Spirit Forward, and yep, no Nightmare available. He actually didn't even skill it. He's only got Enfeeble and Brain Sap, but Anna's got the burn. And the Sleight of Fist damage to kill off the Wind Ranger, delaying this push on top.
I don't think I've seen this Bane build for like 3 or 4 months. Maybe. Maybe that's an exact... No, probably, yeah. 3 months.
They're committing so much on this top lane to kill off Anna. He doesn't have TP available, and that Remnant, Silence up, they can actually control him perfectly. Ember tried to dodge it with the slide.
That was a bit of a misplay from Ana. He chained the ground. He was trying to chain DP, but he was a bit too far away. If he gets that chain off, he might be able to throw out a Remnant and jump for just a moment and maybe dodge the Silence. Didn't manage. Trade of towers.
Yeah, Thompson gets the bottom tower, but he's going to lose his life for it because they TP in the DP. The TP out will not be successful. But up on top, Fiend's Grip's up, and Notel onto Ritsu. Support is there from the wall up. He's got no stun like the rock they had on bottom lane previously. And Ritsu into the trees has no TP of his own. They're going to use the Courier to scout out the vision of Ritsu. So Jirax can just throw a curse. The Courier's still watching him, and Ana, they want the kill onto Ana. The Sleight of Fist Searing Chains will do the work, and no tail!
Really?
Not for you!
Really? I didn't think he was going to take that. Okay.
What did he want? He's got a Tome of Knowledge and an Observer in his quick buy.
I think there was no way Ana doesn't get that kill, but you know, sometimes you just want to secure it.
I haven't seen this build. I haven't seen that kill steal since like 2002.
That's a long time ago. That's before Frozen Throne came out, Toby, isn't it?
That's when I graduated from high school.
When did Frozen Throne come out? I think it was 2003, right?
It was shortly after, yeah, like 2003, 2004. At least Reign of Chaos would have been.
Yeah.
Would have been then.
Oh, Milan's gonna see
Frozen
7.
Throne
He
actually
can't
made
kill
me
him.
6.
It's
I'm
Magnus.
looking towards bottom lane.
When Magnus goes for one tank item like this, Hood or Vanguard, he's such a ridiculously difficult kill. Look at him, he's 1600 health in a Hood. Level 9. Oh, Skewer. Missed it.
Yeah, he's got RP available, so potentially you can pull him back, but there's no follow-up.
Nah. I think if he had it, he wouldn't even want to use it on this kill. Ana, tried
Seems
for
like
a
nice
blind
start
slight.
No one there. TP back, regen up, and come back to the fight.
So
Death
usually
Prophet
you
still
would
forcing
say
in top.
usually you'd say space created with what Milan's doing, but there's like nobody seems to really care all that much. Okay, now Ana's gonna
Yeah.
find him. Maybe. Oh,
Like, no.
playing the fog well.
There's an observer wall that lets Milan actually play the distance right now and gets a shackle onto TI8. Out of all the people, he might be able to get his cold embrace off, actually holds the stick charges and doesn't use it. And in the meantime, Ana, sleight of fist, spirits away, but silenced up. It's gonna last too long. Dead for 35 seconds. And War, what a great start for keeping Ana tied down.
Dire's top
I'm
tower
wondering
is
though
under
if it's
attack.
still fully worth it. They're burning Exorcism, they're gonna take a tier 2 tower on top, but Thompson's harassing the bottom.
Oh, it's a
And
good
he's
move.
hitting his own level of farm.
It's definitely a good move. I think ideally you don't bring all 5 heroes to the area though. If they could have done this with 3 or 4, it would have been perfect, but it's still, they're putting pressure. We talked about how they have limited options of catching the Ember, but they're making use of the ones they have. This is a 4th kill on him. This
Yeah,
time
this
the
is a
DP
very-
Sound's setting it up.
It's a very active shutdown on Ana. They're not letting him have that space where he can just carry like he has done
Oh,
for,
it wasn't
for,
the DP
for OG
Sounds.
before.
It was the Orchid on Nature's Prophet.
Oh, yeah, picked it up too.
Yep.
Well, Pipe now being used on the Magnus. He's affected by that Orchid wanting to go towards somebody, but because the Orchid connected, Magnus just had no way to get the RP, but he finds one too far away to get the RP hit. And where do they want to go? They're going to head towards mid. Nether Ward down to try and
Radiant's
protect the
middle
Bugner.
tower is under attack.
They do find one with the Decrepify. They want to try and chain off all of this magical damage, and they have the kill. Maybe this is also one of those games where you see the Aghanim Scepter Magnus and you get the return Shockwave just to work with
Radiant
Decrepify.
structures are fortified.
I don't think we're gonna see it. It is possible. I mean, it's an item I have seen before in competitive Dota, but it's a pretty rare pickup. Most of the time you want Magnus to get his tank item, a dagger, and then either a Force Staff or a Shadow Blade to just set up his RPs. And then in the late game, generally BKB and a potential super late game Refresher
Radiant's
Orb
top tower is
are
under
popular.
attack.
Thompson's
That is
pushing
from
the top
Thompson.
tower.
So he's the one that always creates the space. Normally comes with a lot of magical pop. Nether Ward is down. He's shackled towards the Sprout for the moment. Support's coming in from Notal. He needs to get some level of control. But that Wrath of Nature does so much damage so quickly that the only thing they can do is bring Ana in for the extra kill. Ana will claim it. The Rocket Fatal Bonds. Notal's dying. That's why he has to brain set. But more supports there. The Nether Ward is still causing problems for Wall. They're fighting underneath it. There's at least a triple kill for Ana, maybe a quad, as he has the Sleight of Fist and the Searing Chains. He did not use the Searing Chains, however. Used it on the rock column instead.
Yeah, he was next to 4 creeps, and he was worried that the chains would just go on the creeps, but he could have at least tried for it. Maybe you get lucky. It was, the odds weren't favoring him, but it favored him more than if he didn't cast it at all. It's possible he was saving mana for something. I'm not completely sure how much he had left in the tank there. But great fight for OG nevertheless. They got multiple kills for Thompson's life and didn't lose anything anywhere else.
And that was also the rock committal from Warlock.
Yes.
We saw how effective that was on bottom, and now they burned it on top. It's 2 minutes worth of freedom for OG from scary, scary team fights.
Oh, Ana gets DD and Invis.
Mood of invisibility.
This is some scary stuff.
But War's smoking up. That
They didn't
DD and
even-
Invis, man, are they going into? They're going into Roshan. They got Exorcism available. They're
Oh.
going to slip into the pit, and OG, they are not reading this at all.
I like this play a lot.
Scanning.
It's also a fortunate timing because Ana just got this double rune and he's just looking for any kill he can find around bottom. He's gonna find Milan in mid now and we'll grab that kill, but it's gonna ensure that Roshan most likely, unless,
He's
they're pinging it, they realized
they
it.
know. Sleight of Fist just came off cooldown. He'll fist in while Prophet was bashed up by Roshan. Spectral Horn. They're trying to create a little bit of problems, but at the same time, everyone else is coming in. Remember, Magnus also just picked up that Blink Dagger, so Seb is looking for the big RP. And War will not know about this in the chaos. You doubt the Spectral Images actually caught a glimpse of it. Now Death Prophet decrepified up. The drain is huge. The Shockwave will finish the job, and that's what they're looking at. So many heroes going down for War, and Ana still on the hunt. The double damage has got an extra couple of seconds, and that's long enough to kill off Milan.
Oh dear, this ends
And
up
they're
backfiring
back in to finish
so
Roshan
hard.
too.
They were missing
yeah.
one key piece on the Radiant for this play. They did not have a medallion. If they have a medallion on this, they get the Roshan in time. But Warlock sitting on 1400 gold, not buying an item. Nature's Prophet didn't have a medallion either. DP is not going for the Solar Crest build-up. Usually the DP team will have this at this point, but that little missing piece just making a huge difference. I loved the play, but then I realized, damn, this is taking them so long. And Milan getting caught out in mid was actually a dead giveaway. It's like, why is he here? Wait, where are the others? Uh-oh. And then they just start poking them in the pit and get a big win.
And now OG will capitalize.
Radiant's top
Pushing in
tower
through the
is
top
under
lane. They
attack.
push so hard. With Empower buffs up on both Ana as well as
Radiant's
Seb, they
top
clean through the
tower
wave
is
so
falling.
quickly, but that's not even including the Nether Blast that Thompson can give. And what does Ward do? Like, they want to try and
Radiant's
fight in,
top
but they're going to go
tower is
underneath the
under
Nether Ward of Thompson. They can't defend these towers easily, so they just split push down in bottom lane. TP out from Jirax, he'll end up surviving the Orchid attack of Forev.
This tower they're not going to hold.
Radiant's top tower
No.
is under attack.
But that's a tier 1 and tier 2 tower going down after Roshan fell. And now top 3 net worths belong to OG.
Nether Blast is such a good spell. I still feel like this hero is massively underutilized. The only two teams I've really seen run it this qualifiers has been OG for Europe and Espada for
Radiant's
CIS.
top tower
Both
has
teams in the
fallen.
finals might tell you something.
Uh-huh.
Espada didn't win though. I think the Knicks, the Pugna
Oh,
started getting
Forev.
banned against them, but as well.
They're flying around the curse just to hold him there for the moment. The buff ups are available, and Bane's coming in too from the side. Forev wants to escape, but they have the damage. Okay, they had to commit the RP. Bane's Brain Sap would have finished the job, but the Orchid, Forev played it right.
Yep.
He tried to stop the Brain Sap from just instantly killing him. Meanwhile, up on top, Death Prophet.
Damage.
He has a defensive heal scepter as well.
He has a hood, man. How did he take 800 damage from that? He didn't use the barrier, but still, he has extra magic resistance. Damn, that's crazy.
Decrepify and Veil.
Yeah, it's no joke.
I remember a captain who actually picked this up and then ran it with the Zeus as well.
That's
that
a long.
was
That's a long
that
time.
was a long time ago. Yeah, you remember that draft?
I do. We were on a timer. We had to win in like 20 minutes because of a time rule back then, or 25 minutes. It was that game, right, against P2G's team?
Yeah, you had 35 minutes to win.
Oh, we had
and
35. Okay.
yeah, you had 35 minutes to win, and you're just like, you know, we're just gonna Intel nuke everything.
Bought like
Plugged in for
10
the
flasks
towers,
and pushed
Zeus
down
for the
mid.
heroes. Yeah, someone should find that old replay. It was a classic game.
It was a different time.
Right.
I'm glad we
This-
don't have
this-
time rules
this-
anymore. They were terrible.
Yeah,
That
it
is
was,
not
yeah.
a way of doing tiebreakers in Dota.
Radiant's bottom tower
They
is
still
under
exist in
attack.
some parts,
Yeah,
but only
I don't
only
like
when the
it.
secondary.
Okay, Toby disconnected. That's a bit unfortunate, but you know what? I can roll with this on my own for a little bit. He should be coming back in just a second, but it looks like OG are going for a quad team movement toward the bottom tier 2 tower. Good ward placed by Notel to protect this area. Oh, I'm hearing Echo. This terrible. Ah!
Radiant's bottom tower
Toby, I'm
is
hearing
under
myself.
attack.
I reconnected.
Oh, okay. Okay, I think we're good. Yep, we're good.
We're good.
Technical difficulties have been solved
We're good?
very quickly
let's
by Rob.
pause. Let's pause.
Let's pause. Yeah, we have
Technical difficulties.
actual tech issues. Hey, Wind and Rain, you mind pausing for us?
Well, team
Radiant's
fight.
bottom tower
Warlock, do
is
you
under
want this?
attack.
Notel's nearby. He can start this off with a nightmare setup. There's a lot more friends coming in.
Radiant's
As the
bottom
Death
tower
Prophets
has
arrive,
fallen.
Ritsu as well as Millen have bailed out, but Seb, he's got the cover of smoke. If he bounces up, he wasn't actually affected by that silence, but Bane needs some help. Anna's there. Thompson as well. Spirit jump in.
Radiant's
I'm
bottom
not
tower is
certain what
under
Anna
attack.
thought he was getting.
He was hoping to get a slight chains on max range, but he didn't reach them. They already disengaged. I like that play a lot from Notel, by the way. He was baiting
Oh,
them super
Banner
hard.
friend.
Oh. Yeah,
Winter
he's
Wyvern's gonna play, buddy. It's a Wind
probably
Ranger.
dead.
She's already used her Wind Run too, and the okay. He's Empower buffed up, hitting at 120, 220 pop.
There's some special synergy about this lineup that I want to talk about a little bit, because it does multiple things. We were talking about how they don't have the most physical damage, but they have the Empower on Ember, so even if he goes magic damage build, he still has decent physical. It's not great, but it's good. And then they have the Veil for Ember, and this combo is actually super crazy in teamfights. They deal so much damage. He goes for the Maelstrom plus the Remnants.
Radiant's
So
middle
if the
tower
Veil
is
comes
under
out and somebody is
attack.
decrepified, it's not only Thompson that's going to blow them up. This triple Remnant play will actually deal 1,000 damage.
They're amplifying it as well.
There's a lot of nice
Thompson's going in.
synergy. A
Like,
lot of
he's
amp.
got Veil, he's got Aetherland, and he's going to go for the Dagon.
That's Tower's down.
They're just looking to explode everyone, and
Radiant's
yeah, easy
middle
tier 2
has
tower.
fallen.
There is a Radiance now on Wind and Rain for Ritsu, so I think they should be looking for a fight, especially because they're starting to fall off with their DP lineup. They wanted to play fast and push OG, and after losing just a couple of fights, they're definitely on the back foot. If they don't make moves now, OG is going to just keep killing them with their really strong skirmisher cores in Pugna and Ember Spirit. And we've seen one RP this game on a solo Fury, and I think that part of the game hasn't even been played out yet.
I just love this from Jirax, even though like with the Shadow Blade from Forever you can get away, but Jirax has made it his job to hunt the Prophet, who is now trying to hunt the Magnus. Seb caught out on the Dire Ancient. The Orchid gives it a little bit of extra control. And out they go.
Yep.
Good pick off. He's down for a while, and War waiting until the Aegis Immortal timed out before they looked for the fight.
And the way they killed him there was an aggressive Yules from Bryle into Silence and Shackle Shot, but now there's a defensive Yules on the Mag. Seb went for that, so he has a counterplay in the following fights and more mana to work with.
Anna's got to be careful. Doesn't have a Flame Guard. Orchid's off cooldown. They got the extra Suns that can come in from the Death Prophet. They just need the control, which they have through Sprout. But they're very iffy about doing it because on the other side of the river, that's where No-Tail is. Spirit jump forward, in from Anna. You will have No-Tail pop to the Orchid, but Anna finds himself another kill. Spirit jump out for the rock. Warlock hits the mark, plus the shackle. And Anna just has to wait. Sleight of fist up. There's your defensive Yule Scepter. Has he got more time? No. Ritsu will kill him. 900 gold goes the way of Spec.
Good kills.
And that's a long death time of OG on multiple heroes.
They did have to expend a lot for this, obviously. They will have no Haunt, no Golem, no DP ulti, and no objective to take. But in the position they're in the game, they kind of have to settle for this and be fairly happy, I would say. This is a lot better if they turn it into a tower, but they just haven't pushed the waves far enough to even start thinking about getting an objective out of a good fight.
I don't know how you push against OG.
It's
Even
tough if
with
their
these
heroes are
kills.
alive.
Yeah.
If the heroes are alive, there's absolutely no way. You have to try to find a fight outside. Whereas OG can slowly poke with their Nether Blast with Lens and feel pretty safe, right? Like, what's the catch on this Wind and Rain team? They can Yule him into Silence, or they can Shackle Shot, but they don't have a way of forcing him into the fight.
But even if you do that, you can't force a fight because you can have Wyvern blink into Curse.
Yeah,
He's got Blink and
OG's
he's approaching the Yule Scepter. It's real difficult.
OG's counterplay is phenomenal this game. Like, from a drafting perspective, we haven't even seen them really use it very much.
His Jirax gets the Curse off. How many times has Jirax done this just to set up a target so they can blast the living crap out of him? And that's exactly what happens.
Okay. He died.
The Wind Ranger's not that tanky anyway. He's sitting at 1100, but yeah, that made him look even more like paper. Look how many sentry wards too OG has planted down. That's 6 sentries across the Radiant jungle. And then they leave their one aggressive Dire Observer ward. They control the bottom part of this map and they know it. I'm wondering if Gem would have been a little bit more efficient in money.
Dire are scanning.
I
Top lane,
do
No-Tail.
think he could have won. He's dead.
Rev reveals himself, but Jirax comes up. No-Tail dies, but for the greater good. That's level 2 Dagon for Pugna to buy now.
That was a nice play from No-Tail as well. He dropped the sentry before he died because his teammates were coming in. So if Furion were to use Shadow Blade, he would have still been able to be burst down there by Thompson. So yeah, like you said, it ends up being a good trade for them. And with all the wave push they have had going bottom and mid now, the Radiant is on defense. Pugna can push this wave 1 or 2 more times, and then they need to regroup. And every kill on Nature's Prophet hurts on map control. He's pretty much keeping them in the game right now by just shoving out lanes. But it's obviously risky when he starts going for kills.
He's down. He's going to respawn about 2 seconds after Roshan does. So if OG's looking for it, there will be the Roshan. Then again, can they actually take it? They don't have
Not really.
that great a lineup of killing Roshan, and maybe they don't even need to.
I think they're fine as long as the Radiant doesn't get it. And Aegis on Spectre now is scary, but apart from that, they don't really care. Aegis on DP is not very relevant.
Where is this money coming from for all the sentry wards? This is becoming ridiculous. They've just coated the mid lane now. Well, Nature's Prophet TPs anywhere, they're going to see it, but they're
Decent
smoke
amount of bounty runes,
ganking
I
around the
guess.
back.
Bounty runes assist gold. They've taken a lot of towers.
Yeah.
They got the Roche kill.
They still have a 7k advantage. And now over the Observer ward, will they run down the hill? They have to hit the bottom of the steps for this to happen. Oh,
Jerax walks
Wyvern.
up.
He'll go up, doesn't blink in time. Don't think he was ready for it. The Shackle will control him just long enough, and the Spectral Haunt into the blink down. The Nether Ward is already on the deck, but it's the RP trying to create space. Seb is doing it so Topsa can survive. No-Tail. Now the drain comes in, but Rock from Warlock. The combinations are working now for Wargaming. Seb's on the run. Spec is right behind him, and with that Spectral Dagger, he'll have the movement speed and he'll have the damage to kill off the Magnus. Meanwhile, back at Roshan, you've still got Anna. finding his own kill on the Wind Ranger. He's the sole survivor of OG. And the Exorcism, it's run way too long. Now it's War who don't have the damage to kill off Roshan.
Another good fight, though. They claw back another 2,000 gold. They need to do this multiple times, but being 5,000 gold behind minute 30 with a Spectre lineup is not all that bad. And the key here is that Jerax face checks this high ground, and they should probably have done it with the Bane instead if they have the choice, but he took the risk and he paid for it. Or rather, they could also have checked that high ground with the Magnus. Just walk up there. If he gets jumped, you cold embrace him. He has he has Hood, or well, Pipe, Yule's Dagger. He's not gonna die, but oh, they used the support for it, and that was a mistake.
Given. Well, the one big thing for OG is the fact they were still able to claim 3 of these 30-minute bounty runes. So we asked where the money was coming from and how to balance it out. That's one way to do it. But you got the double damage on the Ember Spirit. He was the one who didn't die and is by far the top net worth on the field. 5,000 in front of Wargaming's highest.
Yep. That's the whole net worth difference right there. It's Ana.
Yep. Thompson starting his fight. Netherward's inside the pit. And they're going to use this DD on the Ember Spirit to try and start Roshan. Power shot from Wind Ranger has already scattered out the fact.
The reason they're going for this, they know their lineup isn't that good at it, but all the ultimates are on cooldown on the Radiant. All the big ones. No Exo, no Golem, no Haunt. And they're going to just let them have it. They know they're not favored in this fight. And great play call from OG to go for this.
I'm wondering if they would have done this without the DD, because they're also a medallionless team.
Yeah, I think they wouldn't have. They actually wouldn't have gone. There you go.
Yep. So Cheese into the Pugna and Aegis for Ember.
Yep.
Survivability on Ana, who is 13-5-5 on this Ember Spirit. This is the guy they were trying to shut down at the beginning, and all those kills were really early on too. And then he's buffed up by the Empower of the Magnus.
Yeah, he is. Once again, all of this empowering from the team really matters. Empower, Veil, the saves. They have 2 saves. They have both Nightmare and the Cold Embrace. It just allows Ana to play with a lot of confidence. That's what you want when you're playing Ember. You don't want to play passive and be scared. You want to go in.
He's gonna have the confidence once he has that Octarine, because that's his next major item. He's got the save from the Yule Scepter, but
Kid Track, Glimmer's running out.
Oh, that's TP out from the Warlock. He used the illusions. Bounced it off, but here comes Ana. Sleight of Fist Searing Chain. What the hell?
Guess the item. Level 3 Dagon only. It's gonna get worse than that. He can buy a Dagon 5 right now if he wants to on Thompson.
Oh, they're gonna go for more Nature's Prophet, skewer him back. The Yule Scepter is buying time. That was actually the Yules of Magnus trying to get Ana to the front lines to fight it out. They have the Sentry Wall, he's on the edge of it. And Ana will claim his 14th kill of this game.
I want to follow Pug now. I want to see him do that again. That was fun.
He's got enough money he could actually finish up his level 5 Dagon.
Yeah, I wonder if he just is saving. Yeah, he's just saving for buyback, just in case.
Buyback. It's full safety. Come on, TI's on the line. I know you want to have a couple of shits and giggles, but...
They're doing that with the chat wheel already, so that's covered.
Yep.
Seb is thinking about it.
3 seconds to blink. 2 seconds. 1 second. They need the vision up the hill. That's an interesting sentry ward. Is this just proving they have disposable income? Great financial planning from OG. They smoke in the back line, just keeping Wyvern and Bane a little bit more secret. But there's got no defense, there's no split push, because once again, Prophet's down. Where are you going, Ana? He's got Aegis the Immortal, he wants to fight, so he's just posturing while Fortification's up.
Yep. Trying to get any information so they can get a skewer.
Nice shackle, Ana. Oh, good rock into the back lines with the Spectral Horn and the Prophet ultimate. Huge damage into OG. They delete one hero so far in the form of the Pugner, and then the Bane was an easy follow-up. And it's a full run away. Ana's not the one who's dead. He'll actually take the Arcane Rune, a dangerous proposition as War want to keep this fight going. Sleight of Fist and Searing Chains. They break the Lincoln Sphere. Ana,
nice shackle.
Ana. Oh, there goes your Aegis the Immortal. Curse isn't available still. It's the blink forward from Wyvern trying to force the DP who's BK beat back. But it is now a full retreat for War. Another good fight, in the words of syndereN.
They set that up very well with the Golem combo into the Fatal Bonds and then the Nature's Prophet ulti, Haunt, and they made sure to have a gem on Spectre going into the fight, so against this Shadow Blade of Magnus, and do they have a single Glimmer? They do not. So it was only the Shadow Blade of Mag that was really going to get out there, and he did end up surviving, but they at least planned for the counterplay that Mag could have there. And Seb is just not getting RPs off. That's the issue in these fights. He just isn't finding the targets. That's one of the big strengths of Magnus against this hero is there's a lot of damage all over the place, but none of it is RPable.
They need the extra vision. Like, Wargaming's never standing underneath an observer ward. So OG, like, they've spent so much money on sentries, which is still hilarious when you look at the 2 observer wards down by Wargaming on the other side of the map.
Seb actually has a play if he's expecting the Haunt. He can pipe and Shadow Blade because the Spectral illusions will only deal the Radiance damage, and that's not going to break his dagger if he's barriered.
They create the information. Ana actually commits in pretty deep with the Octarine Core. He's got more than enough damage to find the kill. So Wind Ranger does have buyback available. Seb's still waiting for the jump and needs that tower to actually die so his Shadow Blade can be useful, but they're just beating into the melee. There's your buyback. So Seb to the back line, same with Jirax. They've got those double big team fight saves and they just use Ana as bait.
Dire's courier has been killed.
20 seconds.
Dire Courier got sniped off by Nature's Prophet. He jumped in behind them. The Orchid is over on the wire, but he's already used his Yulsip to try and keep Prophet out of the fight, but Jirax will then end up dying. Where is this RP? It still hasn't come. Baneside once again in the back lines. RP's available, but where's the group up? It's still not there. Pug has put down the Nether Ward, but it's Ember Spirit doing all the work in the front lines for OG. And Death Prophet, finally the RP will connect. He will go down. He does go down. Ana will get the double kill for it and the follow-up Syrian Chains into Spectre. And they hold him in position so they can drain out the last bit of life from him.
In the meantime,
buybacks are available for war.
Wait, what? The mid-melee Rex fell to a siege creep in the meantime. Oh dear. Well, this is one lane. They used their ultis again. That was
Prophet.
Exorcism and Haunt.
Perev's trying to force him to come back. Fortification's already up. It's Ember Spirit who's the one to do it. And he is looking for this kill on Nature's Prophet. This is so big because it's a dieback. Mad's in the same position. A skewer forward. The trees were never going to stand. Green Peace will shed a tear. And all of Wargaming are dead, and they lost their mid-racks. And for some reason, Thompson is just sticking around. Sure, why not?
Yeah, well, there's nobody to kill him, so yeah, why not? The big difference maker in that fight is that OG take advantage of the timings. There's no Exorcism right from the beginning. They feel like they have to Haunt or they lose their Rex, so they use it. And the Golem is not available for the entirety of the fight. They're just playing around the cooldowns very well.
Are you just watching Thompson right now?
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't care. Like, there's no creep wave here. Backdoor regeneration doesn't kick on. But he brings the mid towers down to 1046. Now they'll actually go for something a little bit more, which is the bottom lane. Is this actually game?
It's 2 lanes. They will not be able to
At least.
Because they don't have the RP themselves, so I don't think they're going to commit for the tier 4s.
Yeah, but they've got Winter's Curse, and they've still got 2 Aeon Discs, and they have a Pugna with nuke power. Feed the Crypts up, so alright. Ana wants to stick around. They're pinging the Shrine. They want to go back for the Shrine.
Radiant's bottom barracks are under attack.
Well committed, Ana.
Radiant's bottom barracks has fallen.
Good stuff from OG.
Radiant's bottom shrine
20,000
is
gold
under
lead. They've got 2 full lanes. And it's up to them if they want to wait for Roche or not at this point, or if they just want to look for a fight.
Radiant's bottom shrine has fallen.
Well, Roshan is... what's the timer? May respawn at 45, sure. Ember's already finished up his Shiva's gun, so the armor's going through the roof. He actually delayed... He's been having the Mjolnir in his quickfire for a while, but bought his Shiva's guard instead. So the same thing with, like, Pugna's just keeping his eyes on the Dagon, but he bought an Aeon Disc. So there's no way for Wargaming to get that early nuke. And it's not like we've got nesting in this game to cause some problems.
Nope. They don't
Even
really
a
have a way.
Silver Edge for Magnus.
Yeah, he's going to be able to break the passive of Spectre. Well, both of them. Dispersion and Desolate if he catches him with the silver. But for now, he hasn't bought it. He's also holding on to buyback. I feel like the only way OG possibly lose this game now is if they get team wiped around the middle of the map and they don't have buybacks, so they lose barracks. And they know it too. So they're holding on to buybacks on, I think, all of their cores.
Yeah,
no,
they
Ana
actually have it on
doesn't
almost
have it.
all of them.
Ana doesn't have
Ana's
it.
short by 600 gold, but with the way he's been moving around the map, he's going to find it.
Radiant's top tower
Like, Shiva's in one sleight of fist, and he'll have to use another one. But he's got Octarine Core, so it doesn't really matter. Sleight of Fist is so easy for him.
Yeah, OG are just pressuring lanes so hard. All the time. Now that they have 2 lanes of Rax that are pushing in, Ana just pushed in the top lane the whole way to the tier 3.
Such a fast Roshan too. Like, he spawned up in 5 seconds time.
Yeah. I don't know if OG are going to go for this, though.
They'll have to have a look, yeah.
They get the bounty
They didn't really have an easy scout. Oh, never mind. They found it. And there's a double damage rune.
Okay. Well, sometimes Gaben just loves you so much. You know that feeling?
Yeah, no, I really don't know that feeling.
Oh, well.
Oh.
Yeah, OG are going to go for this. Slow and steady wins the race.
Yep. And Anna's going to come. He's actually going to have both Arcane as well as the DD rune now.
Yeah. He's going to use both runes and swap in his
Arcane.
Shivas.
Rune of double damage.
Yep, exactly what happens. And Anna's just going to wreck it. Does he even have a, like, feels like the cooldown with a Sleight of Fist is so damn low.
Yeah. It's pretty low.
And they just Searing Chain, control Roshan. Seb can tank the entire thing. He's a pretty beefy boy. They have committed their buybacks, however. Anna actually bought the Mjolnir.
That's the only one they don't have. They have all their other buybacks still. And it's fine.
Wyvern.
He has an Aegis now.
Yep.
He won't need it.
And with his BTs, Arcane Rune, sure. Octarine, yeah.
If the fight drags out, there's no way in hell Ana doesn't just clean up at this point. He has so much sustainable damage. He has 2 Sleights of Fist charges, Mjolnir, and Shiva's Guard on low cooldowns.
They saw him. They're nuking the Warlock. Here's your Ember Spirit jumping forward. He wants that Warlock dead, but he can't see him. The rock will still drop, but it only connects over on the Pugna. I say only. This walk away with Decrepify is taking time, but he's got the extra life, and then the curse for extra space creation. So Ana can get into the back lines. For Rev's BKB, that's a fresh one. It's going to last a while, but they've already burnt the one on Death Prophet. They haven't got through the Aeon disc, but then the RP will hold him there long enough to actually do such a thing. Ritsu tries his run back. Good luck for a heart spec. Death Prophet, no more protection shields for him. He will end up going down. Did anyone bring detection? All right, he just came back out of it, so it's okay. Blink away.
Yeah, where's OG's detection, actually? They had so many sentries, man. Where is it?
They
don't have any detection. Oh, that's hilarious, but it looks like they won't need it. All the spells were committed by the Radiant, and they didn't get a single kill. There's the grip onto Warlock.
Yeah. There's also that 20% increase now. You get 25 on Magnet, so Ana just got buffed even more with the Empower. He's taking some time to beat into him. This walk-up, they're ignoring him. Ana's not even looking at him.
Radiant's top barracks are
He just
under
attacks
attack.
the Rags, like, I don't care. You're a level 24 carry, and you actually achieve nothing. Ana is just taking the Rags and letting his team do the rest of the work. He's got Aegis the Immortal. Doesn't have a lot of mana to fight with, just a couple of slight of fists here and there. But this game is over. It's real GG. 3 euros down. The Aegis Immortal's burned. He can come back up and finally kill off Ritsu.
Radiant's middle tower is under
Thompson's
attack.
Netherward's making it impossible for anyone else to fight. And they'll get through them, and that's the game. OG, they're taking game 1. GG is finally called by Wargaming. It took 43 minutes to get there, but OG have done it. 1 game up and 1 step
middle
closer to
tower is under
TI8.
attack.
Yep.
OG
That was a
victory.
solid game from OG. They got challenged in that game. They lost a couple of fights. They got decently pressured in the laning stage, but it still looks like it wasn't enough. But you know what, Toby? Now Win and Rain get to take a tactical pause and plan for the next game. They get to find out what they want to do in the draft, because they need to
they've
make
got
some adjustments, probably, as I just hit Gabe with my elbow. My apologies, sir.
Classic.
They'll have to look into how do they counter a grand total of 63 sentry wards that were purchased.
Buy more. Or a gem.
What in God's
Well, they
name?
did have a gem.
They bought 1 gem on Durax at the end, but there were 55 sentry wards purchased by Notel. He spent 7,455 gold on support items.
My man. That's how you play 5, guys. That's what you do. You just play with Tranquil Bootsman at 40 and buy sentries on the winning team. Control the map, remove enemy vision, and play aggressively. I think Notel could have probably bought less than that and had 1 item. He could have gone for like a Force Staff or a Glimmer or a Lens if he liked it. Maybe slightly a bit too much on the sentries instead of getting an earlier gem, but that's like the only point of criticism I really have about his itemization. I think it's important to buy all this stuff, and Bane is one of the supports that benefits the least from items. So just needs to get that good Nightmare and a good grip, and didn't really, honestly, have to do much in fights. If the vision is there, his team's just doing what they need to do.
Yeah, to me it felt like JerAx made a bunch of huge contributions in this one too. We needed like other hero to make fights start, and the Winter's Curse a couple of times was that one for that extra little bit of reach. So I really like the Wyvern play this game too.
I thought his early game was amazing. Am I muted? Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Okay. His early game I thought was amazing, but it felt hard for him to even find opportunities late game between like Haunt and Golems and things like that. He was always targeted a lot, it just felt like Ana kind of just outplayed everybody all the time on Ember.
Yeah.
Definitely felt like that heavily.
Pretty much.
So it's a good game. Seb did really well too. I thought in the right moments he had some clutch RPs too.
The thing that's worth considering when you watch this game is that I didn't even feel like OG played their best. And that is something to worry about for Wind and Rain. I think OG made a couple of mistakes during this game that they could have avoided. There's a couple of times they, in spite of having all these sentries, they actually don't have dusts or don't have a gem a couple of times against Glimmer. JerAx got, like you said, he had a hard game. I think he itemized incorrectly. I don't like buying a dagger on Wyvern against Haunt.
Yeah.
You buy a Glimmer Cape, or you buy some sort of other item that allows you to survive the initial burst. Any sort of Force Staff on their lineup would have been great to create distance from the Death Prophet when she runs in and when the Spectre runs in. They didn't have that item at all. So itemization from me across the board for OG. It's mainly really JerAx. I also feel like Seb could have maybe bought better items too, to an extent.
What did you want instead? Did you not like the Silver Edge?
I think he shouldn't go... well, at the end when he goes for the Silver Edge, he kind of has a full inventory. So in a way that makes sense, but maybe... actually, with the items he had, it could have been fine, but I think he has to acknowledge when Haunt is coming out, and he has to pipe Shadow Blade straight away. If he doesn't get hit by the Spectre, he can actually RP out of the Haunt, because the only damage he takes is Radiance.
And a damage
And if he barrier blocks that, there is a play. So he has the right items. So actually, I take that back. I think Seb's itemization is fine, but it wasn't used in the way I was imagining. And in spite of all of this, OG still got a very convincing win because of their just understanding of the game. They're playing around cooldowns. They're taking advantage of Wind and Rain's very, extremely cooldown reliant lineup. Let's be real here. They need Haunt and Golem to even stand a chance in fights, and Exorcism. And even though they got a couple of 4-for-1, 4-for-2 fights, what was the benefit? No towers. They didn't get a Roche either.
They didn't know, yeah. I think that there was always fighting as Exorcism was wear off. That would be when they win the fight, and then they were on their own side of the map, which is never a good sign.
And Milan got trashed that game, man. He was 3-17 on Windranger. He just got killed by Ember the whole game. It's
and Pugna.
Horrible. And Pugna.
It's like where I was thinking, this Dagon a really good idea this game, but the fact that it allowed him just one shot a hero that's normally annoying and hard to kill on Windranger was nice. Worked out.
Something we're seeing, we saw it from Saxa as well. I feel like these Windrangers just default to buying Maelstrom. I don't think it's good. If you're a support Windranger and you're struggling in the game, what does the item really do for you? Maybe he used to focus fire with it one time, and the Maelstrom costs the same as a mobility item. You could have maybe kept a teammate alive with a Force Staff. You could have maybe set up a better Shackle with a Dagger or Force Staff or Glimmer Cape.
I would say the easiest response to that is get a Javelin and leave it at that, because the Maelstrom does 42 damage per proc on average, and Javelin's 25. So do you really need to upgrade it all the way? It doesn't increase your attack speed. Yes, you can push waves fast, but you've also got power shot. I definitely would agree there.
He killed 52 creeps. He wasn't pushing waves. Yeah. So I don't think it was very useful. And I criticized Saxa for the exact same thing in their games with Windranger. I just never felt the impact of the item that much. You're playing a support. If you're not planning on scaling and becoming a core, I don't think the item is worth it.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for game number 1. Game number 2 right around the corner. We'll see if Wind and Rain can pull it back or if OG are going to continue their dominance in the EU's qualifiers as syndereN is showing his belly. We'll be back for more soon.
Getting fat over here.